What is up, Rainmakers? So if you're watching this live, let me know in the comments, put a hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, type the hashtag replay. Let me know if the audio is clear. And what I want to talk about today is when you work in sales and you feel that you're hitting your limits. You feel like you're at your wit's end. What is up, Stefano? And what do I mean by that? So for some of you, maybe you work in a job and you're feeling the pressure. You're feeling the emotional burden of having to work through the same routines every day. And you're not happy because you basically feel that you're living like a zombie. Always having to go after the next sale. Always worried about the pressure coming from your bosses, and when you were younger you could do that, but as you grew older you start to realize that, hey, it's starting to take a toll on your health, it's starting to take a toll on the relationships that matter to you, starting to have an impact on your happiness, because you instead of doing what you really love, you are busy chasing the numbers. And when that happens, what you're really sacrificing is your own health and your own life, and that is not worth it, because you don't know what really can happen if you hit your limits and you're completely burnt out. It's very, very hard to come back from that. And the clients that we have had, the worst case scenario, they get suicidal, okay, they get depressed. And dying isn't the worst part, actually. The worst part is if you continue living like a dead person, And when that happens, it's not just you, okay? It's the people around you that become the recipients of your unhappiness and your pressure, and when you start acting out, lashing out, getting reactive because you can't contain your emotions anymore. The pressure from your sales job is just getting to you, right? And it's just not worth it. So when you're at a stage, the number one thing that you need to be doing is you have to be conscious. Okay, you have to be conscious that what you're experiencing, it's a phase, it's a plateau, and it is a cycle. Because it's easy to bring up your performance, it's easy to push, right? But what you want to do is your ability to recover, your ability to balance your emotions, your ability to rest, it needs to match how hard you can push. Because I don't care how hard you can push, I care about how fast you can recover. And too many people in the beginning of their sales career, they're young, they're driven, and so they push and push and push, and the years pass and they look back and they ask themselves, okay, now I've made my money, I've hit my goals, and they look back and that 4, 5, 6 years or even 10, 20 years of that phase of their life just passed them by. And what happened to their relationships, what happened to their goals, what happened to their dreams, and they are just not happy. And despite all that money you make, you cannot buy back that time, you cannot buy back that youth. So the only way for you to you can't travel back in time, so you have to be conscious that is the only thing you can do right now. And be aware that no matter what happened in the past, you are still in control right now. You can still choose what you want to do and where you want to go from here. Okay, and the second thing, when you actually realize that you can choose, after you choose, you have to follow through with number 2, and that is your decision. Some of you will want to continue staying in that job because after all, maybe that job brings you that fulfillment, and it is a place that you want to be. For some of you, maybe it is not a place that you want to be, and you're very clear that you want to get out of that place. But if you're unable to make a decision, then you will forever be stuck in that cycle, which what I was talking about in point number 1. So what most people struggle with is not so much making the decision, because the fact that you know you're burnout, you know you're unhappy, already tells me that you know what is the life that you want to have. You already know your decision. What they really struggle with is number 3, which is taking that first step. And a lot of times, when you want to take the first step, it is not an intellectual decision. You already know that you need to be taking that step. So by this point, it's not about more logical stuff. It is not about more tools, more techniques. By this point, it is only about one thing and one thing only, and that is your belief. Okay, it is your belief. So number one, you got to be conscious. Number two, you have to make a decision. And number three, you got to create that belief, because without that belief, you cannot make that decision. And without that decision, you will forever be stuck in that job that you don't like, stuck in that cycle that's burning you out. And when you were young, you were already suffering. Imagine if you're old, how you're going to handle all that stress and pressure and competition, right? So the older you go, the older you get, the wiser you need to be. Okay, and this is nothing complicated, it's nothing fancy. You just need to create that belief. And the thing about belief is, I said that it's not a logical decision, it's not a logical thing. It is also not a conscious thing. Okay, it is a subconscious thing. When you want to reprogram a new belief inside your subconscious mind, the way to do it is you have to consistently repeat the affirmation in a way that brings out that seed and turns it into an actual reality, into an actual life that you can live, into actual habits. So you're bringing that seed, that initial belief, that seed into your way of life, right? And that's not going to happen overnight. That's not going to happen because you took a 7-week program, or that's not going to happen because you download an ebook here and there. It takes total commitment for you to create that new belief that, hey, you can make that, you can actually make that leap and pursue what you really want, and really do something for yourself, for your health, for your wealth, for the relationship that you want, and not sacrifice those things away in your sales career. What is up, Marines? Right? So once you're conscious, you can break the cycle, you're able to make a decision, it all boils down to belief. So the question is, are you able to take control of your belief? And your belief is something invisible. It's something inside of you, right? And this is inside out thinking. Right? What most people do is they try to achieve this by going on the outside and using external things to compensate for the lack of belief. Okay, did you hear that? Okay, most people try to compensate for the lack of belief by chasing on the outside, and that never ends. You have to work the other way around and create that belief on the inside, and then making that decision becomes easy. Okay, and then breaking that cycle becomes easy, and then staying conscious becomes easy. And once you have all this in place, the rest of it is just finding solutions, getting resourceful, right? And that's when you need your stamina, that's when you need your drive, that's when you need your consistent action. But all of this cannot happen without belief. So belief is the number one thing that you need to have in your life. If you don't want to go down that path of burning out and losing more of your health, your wealth, and your relationships that you want, everything else can be sorted out down the road. Once you make a decision, all the solutions will find you every single time, right? Make a decision and the way will be shown every single time. So now that you understand that you have to take the first step and you need that belief, what is up, Michael? The question is, how do you turn a belief into something real for your life? Right? Some of you stuck in a job. What you really want to do is to pursue your passion. Some of you inside the job, you love the job and you want progression. Some of you inside the job, you're neutral, but you want some kind of fulfillment. Maybe it's a relationship outside. Whatever it is, you need to have that belief that you can acquire those things. Now, how do you get a belief? Okay, I'm going to put a link in the description as well as in the comments for you to get access to my free ebook. You can just download it right away. It's called Affirmation Secrets. I'm going to show you 7 steps that you can take any goal you want and program it into the deepest areas of your subconscious mind and make it easy for you to create belief within yourself. Right? This is not about me. It is not about people or things outside of you. It is between you and your own beliefs. Okay? So instead of working hard, hustling, grinding, attending seminars, trying to get things on the outside, ask yourself, how can you create that belief inside of you? Okay? And go ahead, you can head over to SenaNow.com/book. I will put it in the description and in the comments. Download the free book and then you can start learning the 7 ways that you can reprogram any goal that you want to have into the deepest region that happens, making a decision becomes easy, becomes automatic, becomes second nature. Breaking the cycle becomes easy, becomes automatic, becomes second nature. And creating your new life, it becomes easy, automatic, second nature because you have become your goal. It is part of who you are. It is natural. There's no more struggle, no more hustling, no more grinding. None of those things that will always lead someone to the path of burnout. So click on the link and I'll see you on the other side. Any comments, questions, feedback, throw them in the chat as well, especially if you're watching the replay and you have further questions, just send me a message over here and I'm looking forward to me speaking with you shortly. Okay? Have a great day.